Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Sandy and Manda. We get together for these conversations because it turns out there are a lot of things that interest both of us, and we really hope they interest you as well. In fact, we'd love to warmly invite you to join this conversation with your own thoughts, questions afterwards, because this is an evolving and continuing conversation. So I'm Sandy Walden of Serenity. I'm a grief coach and a grief coach trainer. That means that I work with folks who are grieving the death of a loved one. They don't have to stay in that place of pain forever. Healing is absolutely possible. When we work together, it's almost as though we're walking arm in arm along the path through grief into healing. And you can find me at www.sandywalden.com. And now I'd like you to meet my friend, Manda.
Hi, I'm Manda Stack. I'm an intuitive coach and energy clearing specialist, which means that I help people feel better by bringing them into better balance emotionally, physically, spiritually, and clearing the way for them to get clear inner guidance for moving forward in their lives. And I can be reached at my website, which is mydivineintuition.com.
Perfect. We thought today we would dive in a little bit deeper. I'd really like to understand more about the amazing work that Manda does, and I bet you would too. So Manda, can you tell us a little bit about how you came to do this kind of work and what it means to you?
Oh, I'd love to. I always love talking about this. So I can trace my interest and passion into why I love intuition and energy work, even back to my childhood, from actually a kind of painful experience. And I think many people can probably relate to similar things like this. So one of the messages that I got in my family growing up was to be quiet, to tone it down, to not express myself as fully and joyfully as I wanted to. And it was really confusing to me as a little girl. And I got that message in response to having a brother that had special needs. So growing up with him, my parents always wanted to kind of level the playing field. And so they would say, Manda, don't be so successful at everything you do. We don't want to make your brother feel bad because he doesn't have the same abilities. So here I was wanting to shine and be creative and expressive. And I was constantly getting this kind of even subtle, not even necessarily outright message that I needed to be quiet. And so that, and not that our growing up was bad or I didn't have lots of opportunities and a lot of joy in my life, but this pattern I can see looking back really played out a lot in my life. And so when I wasn't able to express myself verbally easily to others outwardly, I found over time that I was really able to observe and witness the energy dynamics that were happening around me in the people. Like I could pick up on so much that was going on subtly that maybe wasn't really obvious to a lot of other people. And again, I was confused by the information I was getting. I didn't have a word for it or a concept. Now I do. I understand that everything is energy, and a lot of the information I was getting was intuitive information, which is an inner type of knowing. So out of, one way of relating with people, I received this beautiful gift that I've now come to see as a gift that I can offer to others, that I'm able to look under the hood, so to speak, of people's lives and see intuitively what might be going on for them in their lives and help them to clear away some of the limiting patterns and beliefs that may be holding them back. And often a lot of those things for all of us start in childhood, and we carry them along. So today it's my passion to work with people and coach them intuitively. And it's not only about me using my intuitive gifts to do intuitive readings or energy clearings for people. But a lot of my work is also about helping people connect with and use their own intuition, because when you are able to do that, your life just opens up. Your trust of yourself and the universe and the divine, really, it flows in a beautiful way.
Oh my goodness. So I have got 174 questions about that, but I'm going to keep it short today because I think we'll have to do this again because I want to know so much more. So when someone contacts you for energy clearing, can you tell me a little bit more about what the benefit would be to them and what that might look and feel like for them?
Sure, sure. It's been my experience in working with all of my clients that one of the main things that they always report to me, especially right after, during and after an energy clearing, is that they feel more relaxed. They feel so calm and clear. And that's one of the immediate benefits. And we can get calm and clear, from going to a massage or acupuncture, other things. But I like to think of energy clearing as like invisible acupuncture. So I'm going in there and focusing on and clearing certain stuck places in a person's energy field that may be holding them back or causing them to be stuck in a loop of fear or worry or frustration that's kind of clouding their vision and clouding their ability to see. So just feeling more relaxed is a beautiful benefit. And then what I also see, which it never fails to excite me and just put me in a state of awe at this work of energy clearing, is that oftentimes once someone's energy field has come into better balance, that means that the exterior world responds in different ways to them. And I've seen things like an estranged relative reaching out to contact them after years of estrangement, and it happening right after the clearing. Like, something is going on beyond our ability to perceive in the five sensory world. Like there really is so much more going on beyond what we're able to perceive. So I do clearings for people. I do clearings for pets. I do clearings for spaces, especially people's homes or office businesses settings, because our spaces accumulate a lot of stressed energy. Our emotions over time, our health can be held in the space, and then we click into old patterns or worries when we're back in that space. I remember one space clearing I did for a woman and her family by distance, and that's an important part of this. I easily clear people by distance, just like this, if we're on video or on telephone. And for space clearing, all I need is someone to send me their floor plan, and I can do the clearing. So I did this woman's clearing of her home, and one of the things she had been frustrated about was that her front door lock hadn't been working for many, many weeks, which of course is a dangerous thing if you need to get out of your house in a hurry. And her husband had, that had been on his honey-do list for a while. She didn't know how to do it. So she was like nagging him, and he just wasn't fixing it. So she was frustrated about that. I did the clearing for the house, and literally the very next morning, he was there with his toolkit and fixed that front door lock. So we never know, what is going on that's kind of preventing things to flow more easily, that are behind the scenes energetically.
Wow. So if I have a clearing with you, you don't need to be sitting right next to me and touching me. We don't even need to be in the same room. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's correct. We can sit just like this. It's not like Reiki. It's where you lay on a table. It's where, we just sit like this, either in person across from each other or like this on video. And since energy doesn't know boundaries of time or space, I can easily clear someone just like this virtually on video or telephone.
That's a wonderful thing. Really excited about that you work with pets as well, because they're such an important part of our lives. And I love the story about clearing the home or the building, or I would imagine that would even extend to your property and your yard.
Absolutely. Yep. It does extend to the property line. We put what's called a discerning energy field around the exterior of your property to help filter, once your space is nice and clear, to help filter and keep things out that may not be beneficial and allow things in that are supportive, going forward.
Beautiful, beautiful. So the other aspect of this, and it feels like it's all intertwined, a little bit like a golden thread that runs through a beautiful tapestry, is your intuitive work. So can you tell me a little bit more about that, and can not only the work you do intuitively, but do I have any ability to tap into my intuition? What would that look like?
Oh,
And what
Sandy,
steps
yeah.
would I take?
Yes, that's a great question. I actually get asked that a lot. Like people say, I'm not intuitive, or how can I do what you do? And here's what I believe. Everybody comes into this world with the ability to hear their inner wisdom. I I define intuition as the ability to hear and perceive and act on your inner guidance. And I don't think that we would have been created this way by the divine God, however you want to call what's greater than ourselves. Um, to come into this world and not use this gift, this ability. It's there for as an internal compass. In fact, I think the Latin root word for intuition is intuere, which means to guard or to protect. So there's a reason that we have it. It's just that many, many people have lost connection with it. They've lost their ability to get clear on their own inner guidance. And so, they seek other people's advice for decision making, or, second guess their own decisions. So it's a great question you ask. Yes, you have it. The main key for me, if we don't remember anything else from this conversation, is that the main way for anyone to get more clearly in touch with their intuition is to become more embodied, which means to be more present physically in their body. Because we spend so much of our times in our minds worrying about the future, regretting the past. I could have done that differently. Planning, so much time spinning around up here that we forget what's below here. And, when we're embodied, that's when our intuition can speak more clearly. You've probably heard the term the gut reaction, or, I felt it in, gut instinct. It's true. There's been some scientific research about that our gut really does have something to say. So moving our awareness more into our body is one clear and easy way that we can get out of our minds and open ourselves to hearing our intuition.
How might I recognize an intuitive message that I'm receiving? If I'm not really tuned into my gut, maybe I'm in process. How would I recognize is guidance to a question I'm asking, or a concern or a thought that I'm having?
Oh, fantastic question. So one of the techniques that I would recommend is to set some intention around it, whether that's writing your question in a journal, or somehow externalizing it from yourself, like putting it like, here is my question, or here's this conundrum that I'm facing, and I'd like some guidance or assistance with it. And then you've got it out of your body, but it's there. And then what you can do is ask for greater assistance and play with it. Be playful. One of the ways that we hinder our intuition is to get really to constrict or contract. Like, I need an answer now. So one of the ways that we invite our intuitive knowing is to relax and even take our minds completely off of it. Take a shower, go for a walk. You know, some of our best ideas come in the shower, right? so, so externalizing it, asking for help, asking for guidance, and then releasing it for a while and see what comes up. Some people get intuitive information visually through signs or symbols. And I know you know that very well. We're going to talk about that in another interview. And, you know, for example, like dragonflies are a symbol for some people that have great meaning. And when they see it, they get a little aha, like a little nudge or recognition, like, okay, yeah. So when we get something external, that's a beautiful thing. It can also be internal, like the gut response, like an inner knowing. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. You make it sound very natural and normal. So maybe I can do it too.
Yes.
Not on your level, but maybe I can learn to listen to my own guidance a little bit better with your help and your instruction.
Beautiful.
So Amanda, this is something we'll definitely need to talk about an awful lot more. But right now, let's give everybody who's listening a way to reach out to you. How do they find out how they can work with you?
Yeah, well, if any of this has sparked an interest or you'd like to know more, please visit my website at mydivineintuition.com. And if you want a taste of what my work is about, I have a free gift for you on my website. If you go to the free guide, you can download a free intuitive decision-making guide that I've created. And I put in there 7 different ways that you can access your inner wisdom. 7 ways that you can, like we were talking about, Sandy, get some information from our inner compass. So do download that free decision-making guide, put them into practice and see what answers you might get. And they work for decisions that are big, like if you're at a crossroads in your life and looking for clarity on maybe a job change or situation or a relationship issue, or if you're an empty nester and looking for what's next. Or the decisions can even be small. In fact, I love playing around with smaller decisions because that builds up our decision-making muscles for when we do face the bigger decisions. And so my free decision-making guide can help you with that. And I'd love for you to check it out.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. That's a generous gift. And I encourage anybody to work with you because I've had the privilege and the honor, and I have to say, it was a tremendous experience. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but it was absolutely lovely. And I recommend anyone reach out to you because it's a great benefit. It's a great benefit. So thank you for sharing a little bit more with us today, Amanda. And for all of you, please join this conversation. What did you take home from this? What would you like to know? Let's continue the conversation. We look forward to talking with you soon, again, through our conversations with Sandy and Manda.
Thank you, everybody. It was my pleasure.